Welcome to History of Abnormal, the channel where we uncover the forgotten, the unsettling, and the extraordinary stories that the world was never meant to forget. Today we tell the story of Robert Pershing Wadlow, the boy who couldn't stop growing. At 14, he was taller than most men would ever be. At 17, he was already collapsing under his own weight. By 22, he became a legend, remembered both for his towering size and for the gentle heart inside the giant.
I'm Robert Wadlow, 12 years old, and weigh 240 pounds, and I'm about 7 feet tall. These boys grouped around me are about the same age as I am. They go to the same grade. I like to play baseball, basketball, and football. When I grow up, I hope to be a big man like Lindy if I can get a plane big enough.
In 1918, in the quiet town of Alton, Illinois, a baby boy was born like countless others. His parents, Harold and Addie Wadlow, named him Robert Pershing Wadlow. At birth, nothing about him seemed unusual, but as the months turned into years, something astonishing happened. Robert grew, and then he kept on growing. By the time he was 5, Robert was already the size of a teenager. By 8, he was taller than his own father. Carpenters had to build custom furniture just for him, desks, chairs, even his own bed. His hands swallowed toys. His shoes were made by special order. In school photos, he looked like a man standing among children. People in Alton began whispering. Some said he was a miracle. Others called him a freak. But Robert himself was simply a boy who wanted to play, learn, and live like everyone else. The diagnosis doctors examined him and discovered the reason for his relentless growth. His pituitary gland was enlarged, releasing growth hormone without end. Unlike most children, Robert's body never slowed down. Every bone lengthened, every limb stretched. His hands reached the size of dinner plates. His feet alone measured nearly half a meter. By his teenage years, Robert had already entered history as the tallest boy alive. But growth came with a price. His bones ached, his joints strained. He had little sensation in his legs and relied on braces to walk. Every step was both triumph and struggle. A gentle soul. Despite his enormous size, Robert was soft-spoken and kind. Neighbors remembered him as a gentle giant who bent awkwardly to shake children's hands, who smiled at strangers instead of scaring them away. He never raised his voice, never tried to intimidate, yet the world did not always return his kindness. Children pointed, adults stared, crowds followed him in the street. To many, he was entertainment, a living spectacle. Robert learned to smile through the stares, but those close to him knew it stung. He longed to be seen as Robert, not just the giant. Fame without the sideshow. In 1936, Robert received an invitation from the famous Ringling Brothers Circus. He agreed, but only on his terms. He would appear in the center ring wearing his own clothes. No top hat, no tails, no costumes. He wanted dignity, not ridicule. Audiences came expecting a curiosity, but they left meeting a man. Robert insisted he was not there to be mocked, but to show that even someone extraordinary deserved respect. Later, he toured with the International Shoe Company, who provided him with his enormous size 37 shoes free of charge. Again, he appeared in a suit and tie, shaking hands, smiling for photographs, never allowing himself to be treated as less than human. "I work in advertising," he said. "I am not an exhibit." That distinction mattered to him. He refused to let fame strip away his humanity. Strength and the price of height. Stories of Robert's strength spread quickly. Neighbors recalled how at the age of 9, he carried his father, sitting in a chair, up the stairs of their home. His long arms made it look effortless, as though nature had given him superhuman power. But with each passing year, his body weakened. His weight pressed down on his bones. His heart and lungs struggled to keep up. Walking required heavy steel braces, and without them, he could hardly stand. Though he smiled in public, those close to him saw the exhaustion behind his eyes. His height was both gift and curse. It brought him fame, but also constant pain. Rumors and whispered stories. Because his life was so unusual, people gossiped endlessly. In local bars and schoolyards, whispers spread about what it must be like for a man so tall to date. to be intimate, to live as an adult. Some women admitted to being fascinated by him, though also intimidated. Old rumors suggested that girls in Alton were shy around Robert, not because he was unkind, but because he seemed almost unreal, like a figure from folklore. There is no proof of romances, no clear evidence of girlfriends. Some said he was too busy, too tired, or simply too much of a spectacle to ever have a normal relationship. Others swore he was admired quietly by girls who didn't dare approach. Perhaps we will never know. And perhaps that is the saddest part. The humanity of Robert Wadlow was so often overshadowed by the sheer size of his body. The final days. By the age of 22, Robert had become a national figure. Newspapers called him the gentle giant. Photographers followed him. Children asked for his autograph. Yet his health was failing. The braces he wore rubbed painfully against his ankles. On a July evening in 1940, while appearing at a festival in Michigan, one of those braces caused a blister. It became infected. In an era before antibiotics were common, even a small wound could become deadly. The infection spread quickly, weakening him beyond recovery. Surrounded by his family, Robert passed away in his sleep. He was only 22 years old. His coffin measured over 3 meters in length and required a dozen pallbearers to carry. The streets of Alton filled with mourners. For once, the crowds did not stare in curiosity. They wept for the young man they had lost. His legacy, Robert Wadlow, remains the tallest man ever recorded. But his story is not just about numbers. It is about dignity in the face of ridicule, kindness in the face of cruelty, and strength in the face of suffering. He showed the world that even when a body becomes a prison, the spirit inside can remain free. His height made him unforgettable, but his character made him beloved. Questions for you. If you had lived in Alton during Robert's time, would you have treated him as a neighbor or as a spectacle? And another question. Do you think in today's world, with modern medicine and social media, Robert's life would have been easier, or would he still have been seen only for his size? Closing. This is the story of Robert Wadlow, the boy who couldn't stop growing. A man who carried not just his own enormous body, but the weight of being different in a world that didn't understand. Remember him not only as the tallest man in history, but as a gentle soul who lived with grace and left the world far too soon. Thank you so much for watching History of Abnormal. Don't forget to share this video, leave a comment below, and press that like button to help us with more stories. Thank you for your support.